In every mall directory, you'll find the same thing. Floors numbered neatly. 1, 2, 3. But some malls hide a button that shouldn't exist. A floor that isn't on the map. And once you press it, you'll never shop the same way again. Hi, welcome back to Silent Scream, where the stories you hear might follow you long after the screen goes dark. If it's your first time here, I'm really glad you stopped by. This time, we're going deep under a place you think you know. The mall. Shiny lights, busy shops, safe crowds. But there's a floor hidden beneath it all. A floor that wasn't built by humans. And once you find it, it doesn't let you leave. So, what happens when curiosity leads someone to press the wrong button? Tonight, you'll find out. Let's step inside the elevator together. The first time the button appeared, it wasn't there. 6 teenagers squeezed into the mall's service elevator, laughing, pushing each other, ready to film a stupid dare for social media. 4 buttons gleamed as always. 1, 2, 3, and B. But this time, at the very bottom of the panel, there was another. No number, no label, just a flat, black square, faintly worn, as though thousands of fingertips had already pressed it. "Must be maintenance," one of them said. But the others leaned closer, phones raised, hearts pounding with curiosity. One boy reached out and tapped it. The light above the doors blinked, then stuttered into an unfamiliar sequence. B13. The doors groaned open to a hallway that didn't belong in a mall. The floor was damp concrete. The air stank of rust and wet soil. And somewhere far down the shadow-choked corridor came the sound of something moving, too heavy to be human. The elevator doors began to close. None of them thought to press the button to go back up. The hallway stretched before them, damp and cold, nothing like the polished tile of the mall above. The 6 teenagers stood in the elevator doorway, the air stale in their throats, the scent of mold and something metallic clinging to their skin. Their phones, still glowing with flashlight beams, caught glimpses of the walls. Concrete, cracked, water-stained, marked with lines that looked too deliberate to be decay. "Dude, are we still in a mall?" Jamal asked, holding his phone higher. His voice cracked, the sound swallowed by the stillness around them. "Maintenance level, man. Gotta be," said Brandon, the tallest of the group. But his attempted confidence faltered when the elevator behind them groaned and slid shut with a heavy clank. The button panel went dark. No one moved for a full 10 seconds. Then Mia whispered, "Why would a mall need 13 basements?" None of them answered. The corridor ahead seemed to breathe with faint drafts of air, pulling them forward. A single buzzing light fixture hung overhead, flickering. Beyond it, the corridor stretched on, twisting slightly, as if built at an angle that no architect would ever approve. They started walking, phones up, filming, hearts racing. At first, it was just the walls that unsettled them. They weren't flat, but subtly curved, bulging in places, etched with grooves that spiderwebbed like veins. Touching them felt wrong, damp, gritty, pulsing faintly beneath the fingertips. "This isn't concrete," Mia murmured. "It feels softer." "Stop touching it," snapped Kayla, who'd been recording the whole time, her voice sharp with unease. "This is probably asbestos or something." But when her flashlight skimmed across the grooves, the pattern seemed deliberate. Spirals, circles, symbols that half resembled letters but didn't belong to any alphabet. "Guys," whispered Jamal, "I think this was built before them all." Brennan scoffed. "By who? Mole people?" But no one laughed. After 10 minutes of walking, the corridor opened into a wide space. What should have been a storage area or maintenance hub was instead a dead mall atrium, but warped. The floor dipped in uneven planes, as though sagging over something beneath it. Storefronts lined the walls, but they were empty shells. Glass panes cracked or melted, interiors shallow as if carved halfway and abandoned. A dry fountain squatted in the middle. Its basin was filled with piles of broken mannequins. Not posed mannequins, contorted. Limbs bent backward, jaws opened too wide, eyes painted on the inside of their heads. Kayla lowered her phone. This is fake, right? Like an art installation or something." "Where would they put this?" Mia asked. "We're under the mall. No one's supposed to be here." Brandon kicked at a mannequin hand. It crumbled like old plaster. The sound echoed too loudly. Somewhere in the dark above, something shifted. They all froze.
A scraping, slow, heavy, like claws dragged across concrete. "Back to the elevator," whispered Jamal. But when they turned, the hallway was gone. Where the elevator had been was only more wall. Panic cracked their bravado. Brandon shouted, pounding the wall with his fists. Mia cried that they'd been walking in circles. Kayla kept her phone raised, recording, whispering over and over, "This is content, this is content, this is content," like a mantra against breaking down. Then they noticed the escalator. It rose from the far side of the atrium, steps rusted but intact, humming faintly with the current that had no source. It climbed into the ceiling where no opening waited, just solid concrete. And yet, as they stared, they swore they saw movement at the top. A shadow too large for a human, slipping away into the ceiling itself. They argued. Brandon wanted to explore. Jamal begged to stay put. Mia cried silently. Kayla kept her phone raised, recording, whispering over and over, "This is content, this is content, this is content," like a mantra against breaking down. Then they noticed the escalator. It rose from the far side of the atrium, steps rusted but intact, humming faintly with a current that had no source. It climbed into the ceiling where no opening waited, just solid concrete. And yet, as they stared, they swore they saw movement at the top. A shadow too large for a human, slipping away into the ceiling itself. They argued. Brandon wanted to explore. Jamal begged to stay put. Mia cried silently. Kayla kept her phone raised, recording. The youngest, Tyler, only 14, stood shaking, muttering that he wanted his mom. In the end, the escalator decided for them. It lurched to life with a grinding shriek, the steps clanking upward, pulling dust and debris like a hungry throat. And from the fountain of mannequins came the sound of something trying to stand. They ran down another corridor, twisting blindly, their phone lights slicing through the dark. Storefronts loomed and vanished. A food court with counters made of stone. A bookstore with shelves filled only with rotting pulp. A toy store where the toys were nailed to the walls, their faces sanded off. Everywhere the same grooves, spirals, veins, symbols that hurt to look at too long. The deeper they went, the more the air felt thick, humid. It clung to their throats, made their lungs ache. Their phones flickered, batteries draining too fast. "Stop! Stop! Listen!" Mia gasped. They did. Somewhere behind them, the mannequins were following, not walking, dragging. Hundreds of them, scraping plastic limbs against the ground, moving together like a tide. Kayla screamed. They found a stairwell. Rusty steel doors hung open, stairs spiraling down into black. Fleeing instinct overrode caution, and they descended, coughing in the damp air. At the bottom was another floor, not B14, not numbered at all. This one resembled a subway station. Platforms stretched endlessly, tracks vanishing into shadow. But no trains came, only a faint wind pulsing like breath. On the far wall, something massive was carved, a face, or what it tried to be one. A dozen eyes arranged wrong, the mouth that stretched across the wall filled with teeth like stalactites. Tyler whimpered, It's alive!" As they watched, the mouth trembled, opened. A low groan filled the station, shaking dust from the ceiling, and the escalator above began spitting mannequins into the stairwell, sending them tumbling toward the group. They ran. Brandon shoved Nia toward the tracks. Kayla sprinted with Tyler into a maintenance tunnel. Jamal froze between choices. Mia screamed as the tracks gave way beneath her, revealing not steel but bone. Ribs that flexed and shuddered like they belonged to a buried giant. Brandon tried to pull her back, but the floor shifted, and she was swallowed whole. Her scream echoed, then cut off. Kayla and Tyler's tunnel twisted back upward, but the walls here were softer, pulsing. They realized too late they weren't tunnels at all, but veins. The walls closed around him as though the place was digesting them. Brandon and Jamal stumbled along the platform edge, the carved mouth groaning louder. Something was coming through it. Not mannequins, not human. Something too large for the space, pressing against reality like a fetus against the womb. The teenagers realized the truth too late. This wasn't a floor. It was a hunger. And the mole was only the skin it wore above.
Weeks later, shoppers complained of strange noises in the mall elevators. Groans when no one was inside. Strange wet stains on the floor. Security sealed off the old service elevator, claiming electrical faults. But at night, the mall guards whisper about the phones they find abandoned in the food court. Phones still recording. Phones that play back footage of a hallway no one recognizes. Sometimes, if you press against the walls near the basement, you can feel warmth pulsing behind the concrete. And if you listen closely, Beneath the hum of the escalators, you'll hear voices, young voices, calling for help. But no matter how many times the footage is scrubbed, no matter how many times the mall changes its map, the elevator always remembers. The black button always comes back.
And now you know what waits beneath the mall. But remember, some floors don't stay hidden forever. Sooner or later, they find a way up. If you ever see an elevator button that isn't supposed to be there, don't press it. Because some places don't just swallow people, they keep them. If you survived tonight's story, make sure you subscribe, turn on the bell, and join me again. Because the next story might be even closer to home than you think. And it always takes someone down to B13.